to be on the end, so separate from everybody.
No, I hear you.
Whenever you're ready, you're good.
Are we live?
Yes.
Camera on? I see the red light.
Yeah, everything's good.
That's a good sign, the red light. Hello! How is your day 5 of Dragon Con? Oh, I'm sorry, did you guys not get in as early as I did? Did you not know that it's been 5 days already? Sweet. Excellent. So welcome to the panel, Video Didn't Kill the Radio Star. And I'll kind of explain what this panel is about a little bit, introduce the other people that are up here with me at these lovely tables, courtesy of Charles. But first, I want to talk about some of the stuff that we're doing here at Dragon Con, including the charity, the official charity, which is the American Heart Association. And Dragon Con will match up to $100,000 raised during this Dragon Con. So there is a box somewhere in the room that gets passed around, I think. That's what the little thingy says. So I'm just reading it. Or you can text AHA 2019 to 44321. Every donation helps our community make a difference. So please do that. With that said, we're going to go ahead and get started. So my name is Bobby Blackwolf. I am a longtime podcaster, 14-year podcaster from here in the Atlanta area. And I do a video game podcast. It's kind of like an AM radio talk show, but about video games. But I've always done it live. I've always done it on live internet radio. If you remember Shoutcast, way back in the day, with IRC for the chat room, which is Discord without all the good features. That's what IRC was. I always did it live on Sunday nights, and that was not really heard of all that well. And I thought I was only going to do it for a little while. So it's a video game podcast titled The Bobby Blackwolf Show. Terrible name for Discovery, but as I've repeated the joke about 20 times this weekend already, Jay Leno can't take my spot. So I'm happy about that. But in 2012, I helped form the Voice of Geeks Network with my business partner here, Rob. And we continued doing internet radio until December of this past year, where everybody was like, we want to see, you should move this to Twitch. And I'm like, but I have a face for radio. We don't care. We want to see your face. I'm like, no, you don't. Then they said a third time, yes, we really want to see your face. So December, we finally made the move from audio to video. And so this is kind of chronicling that adventure for us. And with these, everybody up here also does a combination of audio, podcast, and video at the same time. And how do you keep both audiences entertained without leaving one behind? So that's a little bit about me. Rob, go ahead and
well, you covered a lot of ground there, since I'm also on the Voice of Geeks Network. But I'm Rob Roberts, and I have been doing internet broadcasting of various sorts really since, probably college radio was on Real Player in 1998. So I guess that would have been my earliest experience. I guess I gave away my age. But then moving on to the service Live 365 in the year 2000 on a show called Understation Live, which then turned into my current show, Orange Lounge Radio, spun off into that in the year 2002. So I've been doing Orange Lounge Radio. We just celebrated 17 years in June, if you can believe it, throughout Live 365 and all other sorts of online media forms, including also a big move to Twitch this past December. So we'll talk about that a little later, I'm sure, but why don't we'll go something else. Yes.
I'm Kurt Boutin. I'm a voice actor, podcaster, Twitch streamer primarily at this point. With the Giant Size Team Up Network, we do a live Twitch stream, many live Twitch streams throughout the week, and it's been an interesting challenge to just deal live primarily, which is what we end up doing, and we also we do a podcast once a week, and but I'm the noob, despite the gray. I'm the noob here. I've been doing it for about 5 years total with all the Twitch streaming that I've been doing, so. I'm looking to learn too.
All right. Hi, I'm Katie Adkins. I am an actor, voice actor, Twitch streamer, and I have 2 podcasts. One that I'm a part of called D4. It's a Dungeons and Dragons podcast, and I'm a player on it. And then another that I run completely myself called Corn on the Macabre. It's a horror comedy podcast that we stream both, and both are also podcasts, and also YouTube. I've been doing... I guess I've been doing what I've been doing for like 10 years or something like that. Like acting, voice acting, and then with the streaming started like 6 years ago, and like it's just been accumulating over time.
I'm Bill Fairchild. I'm the host of Nintendo Switchcraft as well as StadiaCast. I also stream on Twitch, and I always dabbled in podcasting a lot more, or I dabbled more in that, and I took Twitch more seriously. And then it wasn't until I was recording an episode of my show, and I decided to stream it to my Discord channel. So I just hopped in the audio channel and let people listen, and they were like, you should just do this on Twitch. And I was like, all right. So, I mean, I was already doing Twitch stuff at the time, and I decided, well, I'll just move it over to Twitch and try it there. And it kind of, like, my podcasts have kind of taken over my Twitch channel because I do 5 episodes of a podcast, or 5 different episodes of shows a week. So I don't have time to play games on my stream anymore because they're all, every time I go live, it's usually for a podcast. But it's taken off, and it's been a lot of fun.
So, Rob, you can probably speak a little bit more about this, about some of our decisions. Like, why did we wait so long? And I know the answers to these questions, which is why I'm asking and making him answer. Why did we wait so long? And then what was the catalyst for us to finally jump ship?
I'm going to be honest. Like, I think one of the reasons why we waited a long time, even though, well, what's funny, okay, to be fair, Orange Lounge Radio, we had done the live stream on Justin TV,
Yeah.
okay, throwing it back, right? So for a short time, we were streaming on Justin TV. But for me personally, I found at the time, the video wasn't really adding anything to it, and it was a lot of extra work. It was really just like a camera on us doing our show. Sometimes we might have like a game playing in the background or something, but that whole Twitch culture hadn't really taken off yet. Mm-hmm. So when we moved studios, because I had a personal move, so we moved locations, I kind of got rid of that element because it just didn't make sense. We were moving to a smaller space, and so we kind of got rid of that. And I think we kind of got stuck on the Shoutcast thing for a long time because honestly, it was comfortable. It worked. Yeah. It was working for us. We had a lot of the same. I'm very grateful that we have a loyal audience. We have a humongous audience, but we have a loyal audience that will show up, week after week for our show live on Sundays. And it was working. And I've always kind of had this long time mantra, as I'm sure many of you have had, of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But the problem is that, Shoutcast was starting to break. It's not being supported as much anymore. Yeah. People don't log onto the internet and go, well, I shouldn't say everybody, but, more people don't go on the internet and say, gosh, I want to go find a Shoutcast stream to listen to. They might. They might. There's going to be loyalists. I don't want to offend anybody that is a Shoutcast fan because, technology is still going to be there forever. But the reality is now more and more people are getting on board with, I'm going to just, it used to be that we would, like, eat a lot of food, drink a little bit, and then watch the Food Network, right? Now it's Twitch, I find. People just want to kind of Twitch and chill, right? That sort of thing. So, and the nice thing about Twitch is that it's highly accessible, right? You can get Twitch on your mobile phone. You can get Twitch on, your PlayStation, your Xbox, your PC. You get all these different places. Whereas when somebody would ask me, like, well, how do I listen to Orange Lounge Radio live on my phone? I'd be like, well, to get to Shoutcast, you just download an app called TuneIn, and then you're going to search for Orange Lounge Radio on TuneIn, right? It was like kind of complicated. Yeah. So that was a big motivator to like why to go to Twitch. It's just easier to find. But I think that comfort zone of, change is scary, made us kind of stay in that place we were at for a long time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I guess I'll also kind of throw out here, there's a lot of streaming services out there. There's not just Twitch.
Sure.
We're going to use Twitch, but a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about fundamentally is, applicable to if you're doing YouTube Live or Mixer or D Live or anything else like that. But what made, and I guess I'll go with you, Kurt, first and go down the line here. What made you guys choose the streaming service you're on?
Well, because I was doing primarily video game stuff, Twitch was an easy selection. I mean, it really was the place. I think the first live stream that I did was before YouTube gaming was even around. And Twitch made the tools were really accessible. I mean, OBS or XSplit are pretty easy to get started with. There are issues, no question, but they're pretty easy to get started with and go live fast, right? So and once we started there, the community started building, and so you can't really, you can abandon that and go to another platform, but you're creating more work for yourself, and Twitch has refined over the years, so it's gotten better. The affiliate program in and of itself, if you're looking to monetize, is so much easier to deal with now than it used to be. It took forever to monetize. So we're really happy with Twitch, and it looks like that's where we're going to be for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, so I chose Twitch originally because I didn't originally plan on doing any of this. So I just grew up loving video games. I am a big gamer, always have been my whole life. And so when I was in like mid to late college, I kind of missed the social aspect of playing video games with like friends in the same room or something. So I discovered Twitch, decided to play games, didn't realize it was a way you could make money, and was like, oh, this is cool. I met some really cool people through coming into my chat, and then after a while, like me in my real life being like an actor and voice actor and doing all the things that I do, as well as all the nerdy things that I do, it just ended up kind of coming together on its own. And so I didn't initially go to Twitch for podcasting or anything like that, but it became that over time, and it worked out really well.
Bill?
I actually ended up on Twitch because I won a contest, which is the weirdest thing. So I didn't start on Twitch for podcasting. I started there just to stream games, but I always have this problem with the grass is always greener. So like when YouTube gaming first came out, I looked at that and I said, oh, there's way less competition there. I'm much more likely for somebody to actually find my stream, so I'm going to try that. And then I'd be on YouTube and I'd be like, oh, there's a lot more people on Twitch that could actually find me, so maybe I should be over there. So I just kept switching back and forth, and one day I was in one of my favorite streamers on Twitch. If you guys don't follow him, you should follow him. His name is Bog Otter. He's hilarious. But he was doing a giveaway, and somebody had donated a subscription to his channel, right? So I was like, all right, I said, I'll jump in on this contest, and I won. And then later on that day, he was doing gameplay with subs. And so now I'm a sub, and I was like, oh, I'll join. And so I jumped into Overwatch, and I said, hello. And he's like, I've got kind of a deep voice. And he was like, whoa, are you going to sell us barbecue sauce? And he told me, you should be on the radio. And I said, well, actually, I do have a blah, blah, blah. And then people started following me because he, like, called me out. And that's really, so then Twitch was like, okay, I've got an audience here. Whereas the other places, I didn't have an audience. And you go where your audience wants to watch. So that's why I ended up on Twitch.
And the reason I was actually laughing earlier when you were talking about how easy it is, it's because I'm remembering my past. And the reason that I was very hesitant to go to Twitch is because I went down this route before, way too early, about 2 or 3 years too early. So I had this bright idea. There were 2 streaming platforms at the time, video streaming platforms, Justin TV and Ustream. I had this bright idea in 2009. I had this bright idea. Is anybody local to Atlanta?
Yeah.
So do you remember a place in the late 2000s, early 2010s called the Computer Arena? It was in Roswell, Georgia. It's now torn down. It was right next to a Hi-Fi Buys. So every Friday night, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a live gaming stream on Ustream.tv. 3 hours. I brought in I had 3 cameras. And we'd play a new release game. We'd invite people to come back and play the game for free. We were on a stage, and I did a lot of my podcast stuff, and we did it as a podcast as well. And everybody's like, you're stupid. Nobody's going to sit at home on Friday night on the internet and watch someone play video games.
Womp, womp.
And so, no.
I'm vouching. This is true. This is absolutely 100% true. I'm vouching for this.
But I was like, you know what? What else can I do? And I had this bright idea. I got a third, so I had 2 cameras that were like on, going over our shoulder, and we did some other segments like, I did it with my co-host was somebody who like repaired consoles, like he repaired like the Red Ring of Death and stuff, and we would actually take apart consoles on the air and show the insides, and he'd explain stuff while somebody's playing a game on the TV. But I had this bright idea to get a third camera that pointed at the person playing their face and put them in the bottom corner. And everybody's like, okay, first off, you were stupid because people are going to want to watch video games on a Friday night. But then you obscure part of the screen to show the face of the guy playing. Are you an idiot? And
yes, Bobby Blackwolf. Yes, you are.
Yes. And so we actually wound up getting kicked out of there because we didn't bring in enough revenue for the place because we took over their back room. And then we went to a used gaming store and did it from there. And then we finally were like, nobody's interested, and it wasn't worth my Friday night, so we finally canceled it. And then 3 years later, Amazon buys Twitch for however many billions of dollars. Yeah. And so I was a little bitter, and I'm like, I don't want to go back to video streaming. I've already been down this road. And then and now here I am speaking on a panel about video streaming.
But that is so real, though, that like an experience like that can kind of burn you and make you not necessarily want to go back. Like, you know, to build on what Bill was saying a little bit, you know, one reason that you and I didn't choose YouTube ultimately was that we both got demonetized by YouTube when they started changing a lot of their algorithms. Yeah. So we were like, kind of like, well, you know, sucks to them, and you know, so we weren't going to go over there. And I don't want to insult anybody that has chosen YouTube as their platform, but just, you know, for a variety of reasons, that is not what we chose to go with. I don't even know if you know this, Bobby, but I gave a lot more thought than maybe you probably realized to a site that at the time was called BeamPro. That then changed their name to Mixer after Microsoft bought them. And there was, and to kind of build on what Bill was saying a little bit, is that sometimes it can be really new and exciting to get on a platform that you see as growing. Right. And certainly there was a lot to consider there. That was, do we maybe want to get on this? Because, you know, having working a lot with Rochelle, Electric Sisterhood, right, and those guys, you know, they do a lot with Microsoft. Obviously, it was kind of like that. That was an option. We're like, that might be a really like to get on that wave before it really takes off. But ultimately, I think with Twitch, we saw like how easy it was to have listeners be able to do the bits and do the subs. And let's be real, that concept and that idea of making a little bit of money with your stream was very appealing, because when we were doing Shoutcast, we were paying out of pocket $150 every few months to keep our stream alive. And now that's kind of the tables have turned a little bit. It's like, oh, our flyers are now covered. Like, this is crazy. It's
we have flyers on the back table, by the way.
It's a wonderful thing. So I just kind of want to build on that, because you know, there is a lot of allure to going to a platform that you do see as like kind of like new and growing and so forth. And I know a lot of people that are on Mixer and very happy with it. And I think that kind of competition they're starting to build with Twitch, we're all going to win from that. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think DLive is the current one that is trying to pull a lot of people in. They're the new platform, and they're like, hey, come to us. We're the alternative to Microsoft and Amazon. You don't have to deal with either of them. Yeah. So let me ask you this, because I was talking to one of our wonderful sponsors, which they are wonderful. That's not sarcastic. One of our wonderful sponsors. And they were like, oh, I'd never only stream to one. I use Restream.io. I stream to 7 different places every single time. So I'm going to go down the line this way. Why do you not use like a Restream.io and stream to Twitch, Mixer, DLive, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you know, Snapchat? I don't know. Why do you choose one and not 7?
I choose one because I think that it keeps the community more tight knit. Part of the thing with our streams is we tend to have a community that likes to interact quite a bit, not just with us but with each other. And if there's an aspect of that, if we're responding to somebody that is on another stream, like if we can bring all the chat streams together, the chat, they're still in their own individual infrastructures, right? So it just will split the environment and really split that sense of community. And for me, the sense of community on our streams is a big deal. Like I said earlier, like our Monday night stream is me sitting playing a game for 3 hours, not the podcast, but it's all the game is a catalyst to help build the community and visit with our friends that we've built throughout that community. So I think that would just split things apart too much.
Yeah, actually, I've actually tried using Restream. And the problem is, you know, as a streamer, you want to respond to the people who are talking to you. So somebody starts saying something in chat and you reply to them. The person who's watching on YouTube or on Mixer, they didn't see that chat comment. So now they think you're nuts. They don't know what you're talking about. Why are you responding to this? And the only solution to that is to read everything that everyone says out loud and then respond to it, which isn't necessarily a bad solution, but it's just easier to focus in one place rather than spreading out. And on top of all that, if you spread out, if I have 10 people watching over on YouTube and I've got 10 people watching over on Mixer and I've got 10 people watching on Twitch, I'm less discoverable than I would be if I had 30 people all watching in one place. So that's just some another thing that I tend to think about when I consider where is it that I want to put my face.
Yeah, I decided not to do that when I watched other people do it and not do it well. What would happen is I would see, like, I'd get like a Facebook notification that someone is streaming live gaming, and then I saw that they're primarily actually on Twitch and reading Twitch comments and not Facebook comments, and then I noticed that they kept having to put in the chat, oh, join the Twitch because that's where the chat is, and it was just kind of redundant when really you just wanted to get people into the Twitch chat, that there was no point in having the Facebook chat and live streaming. It just didn't make sense because you can't interact with them. It's all about